for the first loop,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be iterating through each of the numbers, and
Mm-hmm.
then what exactly we'll be doing in the second loop.
So an unsorted array, and we have to return any one of the answers. Okay.
Yeah.
So it will have at least three indexes, right? At least three numbers in the array.
No, it can have less than three also. In that case, you can simply return this minus
Minus
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what we can do here is we can start with a for loop where we would take the first number and find the next largest number. Let's say I get 3. Okay.
Mhm.
Then I 3 becomes my current number, and then I look for the next largest number, that would be 4. Okay. 1, 3, and 4. But then it is possible that I don't get it for the first number.
Mhm.
In that case, I have to start with the second index again. Okay, so just a quick solution that I can think for is we loop it first, okay, and then we read the number, the first one, and then we uh, do another loop that would check for the numbers after the selected number.
Mhm.
And here, once we get the the second number that is larger than n1, then we can store n2. And while this is looping, we can check if we find n3 that is greater than n. And if let's say if there is some other number here, let's say 5. So 5, we would not find any solution here. So it would again move on to the next index, that is 1, and again
Mhm.
check for the numbers beyond it. So
Okay.
this is a very high level solution that I can think of.
Okay. So, what would be the time complexity of the solution?
This would be O(n) square.
O n square. Okay. So, okay. So, like the for the first loop,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be iterating through each of the numbers, and
Mm-hmm.
then what exactly we'll be doing in the second loop.
In the second loop, let's say for the first in this for loop, I got 5. That is the
Mm-hmm.
first number. In the second loop, I'll be looking for the number that is greater than 5. Let's say while I'm running the loop for 1, I'm looking beyond 1, which number is greater than 1. So I immediately find 3 in that
Mm-hmm.
case. And once I find 3, it will again continue looking for the next highest number, and that is when I'll find 4. The reason I have added two loops is it may not always happen that I find the answer, so I have to check for the next number as well.
But okay. So basically, you're saying that if in the outer loop you
Mm-hmm.
got one, then you will search for the bigger number which comes after one. So in
Correct.
this case, it would be three, and
Mm-hmm.
then you will see if there is any number bigger than three also.
Correct.
If it is present, then you will go ahead. Otherwise, you will not consider one as
Yeah.
any.
Then I'll move ahead to 3.
Okay, got it. But there can be some cases in which it might fail. Can you think of any such case?
Cases where this can fail. Okay. So the 1 and 3 and 4. So 3, I start comparing to 3, 2, 4. Uh, 5, I don't find anything from 5 to the next one. Okay. So, no, but J has to be smaller than K. Not sure.
Okay. So how about this case? Let's say if
Mm-hmm.
we have something like 1, 5, 2, and 4.
Okay.
So in this case, when you'll be starting with 1, you'll
Mm-hmm.
take 5 as the next number, and
Correct.
then you'll see that there is nothing greater than 5.
Oh, okay. I see your point.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we would need. Okay. Okay. This would not work.
Mhm.
So let's say I get only numbers that are greater than 1 and their indexes, and I store it in a map. But then again, how would I check that? Because the maps, I'll have to again run a for loop on it. No, that would not be a good solution. So let's say if I have 1, I have 5. If there is no number greater than 5, but I still want to 1. So just thinking out loud,
Yeah, yeah.
what we can do is when this loop is running, it will compare 5 and 2, and since 2 is smaller than 5 but bigger than 1, we can assign 2 to n2. So for the next iteration, it will be comparing 4 to 2 and not to 5.
Okay. So you mentioned that if we get some number lesser than the previous number,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll assign it.
So, okay, I'll just try something here. So, let's say I have 5 and 1 and 6, 3. Okay, so when I come here at 1,
Mhm.
first it will check for 6. Okay, sorry, for 5 only it will get something. So, it will check for 5. Then it will compare to 1. 1 is smaller than 5. It will not select it. It will come to 6. Okay, I need to change this. Let's say there is no 6. So there is 5. So for 5, it will not find an answer. For 1, it comes in this loop for 1. It will receive 3. Mm, mm, you said there can be seven. Mm, seven. Okay, so it gets seven. So seven is assigned to N2, and next it sees two. So if two is smaller than seven, it will select two. Then it comes to four. Four is greater than one and two. So then it is selected, and we can return this answer.
Okay. So you will check. So basically, when you have this one over here, you
Hmm.
will first select seven, and
Hmm.
then when you get two, so two is less than seven, so
Hmm.
you chose two instead of seven, right?
Correct. Hmm.
And then you are searching if there is any other number. So let's say if here we would have minus four,
Mm-hmm.
so we would have chosen minus four instead of two because it is lesser than two, right?
Lesser than two, but it also has to be greater than one, right?
Okay. So we would have avoided this minus four,
Yeah.
and then we could have went to the next number and so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This solution looks good. So what would be the time complexity of this new solution that you told?
The worst case would still be O(n) square.
Okay.
Not exactly O(n) square, but since it is almost looping
Mm.
n times, so O(n) square.
Okay. And what would be the space complexity?
O of 1.
Okay. I think you can go ahead and implement this solution.
Okay. Where would I implement it? Here
So
itself, or
there is a work area kind of something here. You can start writing your code here.
so this area, you mean the rough area, code rough area?
Yeah, I mean, just where I typed this whole question, below that, if you scroll down, there is something called work
Okay,
area.
okay, got it. Okay. So I'll keep this as plain text. Just
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So let's say I have a function. Get full counts, and it receives an array, and it has to return an array of int. Okay. Now, firstly, I have my indexes, that is an array of int 3. Okay. So in this, I will return the index. Okay. So first thing that I will check is if the length of nums is less than 3, and I have to return value of integer that has -1, -1. Okay. Then I will do a for loop, or I can range it directly. So this will be I comma n1 range nums. Okay. And then I can do a loop where this is a -1 and this less than length of nums. So now if this one, if minus of j is greater than 1, and where can then be zero in this list?
Sorry.
Can there be zero?
Yeah, yeah. There can be any integer in it.
Okay, even negative.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that case, if so I just use this creator. None of play is greater than the reference none. Yeah, in that case, if we need indexes, so instead of doing this, this not needed, we can do -1. So in that case, uh, we can do it is greater than the reference number and it is less than the number of n2, then in that case we make into this, and if into is still present but this is greater than number, then n3 is equal to 3. N is equal to return and the word in plus and one and into and into. Okay. And these have to be changed every time. So this has to be inside. So if we get all three numbers, we return it. Otherwise, it will become minus 1 again. And in case we don't find any, we have to return an integer. That is minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. So that means we do not need this one. Okay. I think this should work.
Okay.
So
So
actually, we don't even need, I think, N3 and N1 in that case. You can just do away with N2 because since that is the only one that we need to store.
okay.
I can directly return my and
Can you quickly go through this code, like at which step, what are you are doing?
so, do you want me to run with an example?
Yeah, yeah, please.
So let's say this is our input. Okay. So once this method is called with this nums, it will check for the length, and if it is less than 3, but it is not less than 3, so it will not return minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Then it will run a for loop. First, it will select 5, and the n2, that is the index, will be minus 1, and it will compare it to 1. It is smaller than 5, so it will not go in this if, and again it will continue checking, running this loop to check if any number is greater than 5, and it will receive 7. Okay. So
Mhm.
in this case, n2, that is the index that we've selected, it will become 0, 1, 2. Okay, so right now we have indexes 0 and 2, and it will continue looking for numbers that are greater than the reference number, that is 5, but smaller than 7, but it will not find any such number. So it will come back to the outer loop, and it will select 1. In this case, then it will immediately select 7 since it is greater than the 1, and n2 being minus 1.
Mhm.
Okay, so if this needs one more, yes, n2 is equal to, so n2 is minus 1, and so it will come here and assign 7, that is 2 to n2, and next it will receive 2. Here 2 is greater than the reference number, that is 1,
Mhm.
and n2 is greater than 0. That means we already have a second number, that we need. And since it is smaller than the selected number, the index will be replaced, and now we have 1 and 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it will come with minus 4 in the second loop, and since it is smaller than 1, that is a reference number, it will avoid this if altogether and move on to the next number, that is 5. Now,
Mm-hmm.
5 being greater than 1, it will move into this if block, and it will check if n2 is present, and if 5 is less than 2, which is not true, so it will come to this next else. And since it is greater than 2, now we have received all the three numbers, all the three indexes, so it will return the answer from here itself, hence breaking the loop.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what I want you to do is, can you quickly dry run this on this case also? Um,
Where?
at line 2, I have written a case. Sorry, just a minute.
Okay, 2, 2, and 3. Okay.
Yeah, 2, 1, and 3.
Okay. So in this case, first the reference number is 2,
Mm-hmm.
and n2 will be minus 1. So it comes here. It gets 1 as the next number. Since it is not greater than the reference number, in that case, it will not move into this if block and moving on to the next number. So that is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see your point. So it goes to 3, and since 3 is greater than the 2, it will move to this, and n2 will be assigned to 2. That is the index of 3. Now, what we can do here is probably if we have not received the number, so we can make this minus 2, because if we have not received it by the time we reach the second last number, we probably won't be receiving it.
Okay. I think there is a small problem at line 10. Uh, I mean, can you figure it out?
Plus 1.
Okay. Yeah. And there is some problem with this else condition also. Can you think if it might run into some problem due to this else condition?
If the numbers are equal, maybe.
Uh, yeah, that is the case. But if the numbers are equal, then it won't be a problem. Uh, okay. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. So overall, the solution kind of looks good, and I think it should work. And you have also told the time and the space complexity for the solution. Now, what I want you to do is to optimize this time complexity uh, to something better than n squared.
Okay.
So can you try for that?
Okay. Mm, So we can try to keep a pointer maybe. So let's say if my left pointer is at 5,
Mhm.
I can run one loop. Then again, that would be an own square. Mm, how can I get three sequential numbers? So one thing that I can think of is
Mhm.
um, if I'm running a loop for 5 and I get 7, that means there cannot be an answer for 7. If there are numbers greater than 7, then it should be able to complete the sequence of 5, 7, and whatever the number is greater. So
Mhm.
maybe we can discard this from the list. Then again, how will that increase the time complexity? I mean, we'll still have to continue with them.
Okay. Maybe you can think of it in this way that
Hmm.
let's say you're traversing through the array.
Hmm.
Let's not focus on I and K. Let's focus on J. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say you are traversing this array and you have reached some point. Let's say you have reached at 7. Okay.
Hmm.
And you are thinking that, okay, I'll try to make this 7 as the middle element.
Okay.
Okay. Then can you do something? Uh, then how would you try to solve this? For example, for now, forget about the whole array. Just
Hmm.
consider that you are given this index where it is 7, and the value of j is 2. I mean, uh, the value of j is 2 here, right? And
Hmm.
you have to find the I and k such that this will form such a pair, such a triplet. So, what would be your thought process in order to do this?
Okay. So I'll have to look in the left side of 2. If there is a number smaller than 7, and on the right side of 7, if there is a number greater than 7.
Yeah, right. So I mean, yeah. So basically, we'll divide this into two parts. This
Mm-hmm.
the first part and the second part, and we'll simply check if there is some number lesser than 7 in the first part and greater than 7 in the next part, right?
Okay.
So can you think of such a way? Okay, so basically in this, let's talk about the second part. So in second part we have 2, -4 and 5. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we have these many elements. So which one of these do you think would be the uh, most strong candidate for being K? So we want something greater than 7,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a new array containing this 2, -4 and 5. We don't know the numbers in this array. I mean, in this case, definitely it's 2, -4 and 5. But we don't know the numbers. And I ask you to choose any number from this array which is greater than 7. So, what would be your intuition? What would be the strongest candidate among that array? So that that number turns out to be greater than 7. What would be your intuition to choose that?
The pivot for that array.
Sorry, which pivot?
So, I mean, the way you divided this one from middle, are you telling that we'll have to divide this array as well from middle?
No, no, we don't have to divide that array.
Okay.
What I'm
Okay.
asking is
So,
currently we
so
have.
the rightmost is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I select this guy here, 7,
Mhm.
and if I have two pointers, one to the left and one to the right, and they move towards 7, checking if there is a number smaller than or greater than 7. Is that how you're suggesting?
No, no. Just for a second, let's forget the first half. Just focus on
Okay.
the second half. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So we have the second half. Here we can definitely see it is 2, -4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So let me erase this. Okay. So we have something like this. Right. So these there are three numbers here,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to see if is there any number which is greater than 7, right? That is our goal,
Correct.
correct? Now what I'm asking you to do is, if I ask you to choose a number which is greater than 7 in this array and you don't know the values of this array, so
Mm-hmm.
what would be your intuition? I mean, how would you choose the strongest candidate that can be greater than 7?
The immediate, the first element.
How does first in this array would guarantee it would be greater than 7?
Mm, okay. No, but this is not a sorted or almost sorted array, so not the first one. Let's say if I go at the middle of the array.
Okay, okay. Let's think about the maximum element of this array. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's say I have these three numbers, and if somehow you can get the maximum of these numbers, in this array,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you compare that with 7,
Hmm.
so if that is greater than 7,
Okay, okay,
then
okay.
you can
Got
take
it.
that. Otherwise, you can simply discard, because if the maximum is not greater than 7, then you cannot find any number greater
Got
than
it.
7.
Yeah.
Similarly, for the left half also, you can see the minimum here,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
the minimum is lesser than 7, then it's okay. Otherwise, we'll not find anything.
Correct.
So, if we want to find if is there any value, if, is there any triplet such that j is equal to 2, we can simply look find the minimum of this first half and the
Mm-hmm.
maximum of this second half and see if they are less than 7 and greater than 7 or not, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Similarly, we can do this for all the values of j. So, for example, first we'll put the value of j as 1. So
Mm-hmm.
we have 1 here, and we'll try to find out the minimum here and the maximum of this new array.
Got.
Similarly, we'll make j as this 7 and try to find out the minimum of this 5 comma 1 and maximum of this rest of the array.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, we'll make the j as this and this. So we can store this, right?
Correct.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can create an array which, so let me put it, I'm not sure what was there, but let's say if it was there. So we can create a value which contains the minimum of of the prefixes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something like this. Now, if we are at 7 and we want to find out the minimum of this, we can simply go to this array. So this array is like, min. We'll go to this array and check what is the minimum for this one. So this is 1,
Okay.
right? And it
Mm-hmm.
is less than 7, we can simply say that, okay, for 7, we can find the minimum in the first half.
Okay.
And similarly, we can have a maximum basically. This maximum will contain the maximum from the end.
Correct.
So we'll have 5. And when we have minus 4, so maximum will remain 5. And then we have 2, so maximum will still remain 2, will remain 5. And then we have 7, so the maximum will become 7. And then we have 1, so maximum will be 1
7.
and
Yeah.
7. So now we have to check what is the maximum value in this 3 in
Mm.
the second half. So we can simply go to this number. Sorry, we can go to this number here in the max array, which is 5. So we can simply say that the maximum in this half is
Mm-hmm.
5, which is not greater than 7. So, okay, we cannot take 7 as the minimum. We'll take 7 as the middle,
Okay.
right? So if we can form these two arrays, wouldn't we'll be able to do it in order and time? Do you think so?
So these arrays we'll prepare beforehand, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay. So that then this would be reduced to one for loop
Mhm.
and two separate for loops for this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would maximize minimize the time complexity.
Okay. Cool. So with this, we have reached the end of our interview also.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we can break the characters now. So like yeah, so this question here which I asked ये मतलब ऐसे मीडियम टाइप का ही था,
Mm-hmm.
लीड कोड पे एक्चुअली प्रेजेंट हुई है।
Okay.
तो इसमें जो है कि जो मेन जो इसका बहुत ही जो टफ वाला वर्जन है वो एक्चुअली इसमें है कि आप ऑर्डर वन स्पेस में करो, राइट? आई मीन अगर ये क्वेश्चन इंटरव्यूअर आपसे पूछ रहा है तो दे आर डेफिनेटली एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आप इसका ऑर्डर एंड सोल्यूशन विद ऑर्डर एंड स्पेस
Mm-hmm.
बता दोगे आराम से।
Okay.
And the main difficulty lies in reducing the space. So there is one solution in which we can do it in order and without using these extra arrays and all.
Okay.
So that is the tougher version, a bit tougher. That is also not the hard level, but yeah, definitely tougher than this. So yeah, so I mean that would have been the expectation if this question would have asked in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And most probably, if this question is asked, then maybe one more question would have been asked after this because this is a medium kind of problem. So
Mm-hmm.
overall, my feedback would be like the communication part was kind of good. So you communicated your thought process throughout the interview, and then you like the code that you wrote that had some minor bugs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the thing is that you can have a lot of bugs, right? And the interviewer will point them out, but that will only waste your time, right?
Correct.
So it's good that if you can write the bug-free code in the first attempt, or maybe uh, in lesser time.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be one suggestion. Try to practice. Try to write. Try to see find the errors in your code by yourself, and not get pointed out by the interviewer. So that might be one feedback there. And the code quality, I think it was kind of good. So, I mean, since it was not a very big code, and you named the variables like reference, none, and all those, so code quality was kind of good. Uh, and yeah, regarding that optimization part, the interviewer definitely would have expected you to give this order and solution with the order and space at least. And then they might have also asked you to optimize the space to order one. But, definitely they would have expected this order and with the order and both time and space solution. So yeah, that is one part that you will need to focus that. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So, can you share your thought to whatever you're getting during the interview or anything?
Uh, yeah, so one thing, yes, of course, I think I could have avoided some errors, minor here and there that I made. Apart from that, I definitely see that I need some practice with lit code. So how do you suggest? I mean, I pick up the problem from lit code and try coding in a Google Doc or a plain notepad just to try and avoid errors.
Uh, I would say that first you should try to do it in code itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, what you can do is you can do it using a timer. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, whenever you see some medium question, you can keep a timer that okay, I have to do this in 20 minutes, or so maybe 25 minutes you can take in the beginning. But you have to think for the solution and write a complete code within 20 minutes. If you can't do that in 20 minutes, you will simply look at the solution.
Okay.
And when you look at the solution, try to first look at the approach, and then try to code it by yourself. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
then if you are and in the coding part also, make sure you are able to code that after knowing the approach. Make sure you are able to code that within 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes, if it is not a very big problem. And yeah, so that is the thing that you can start. But again, the thing is that it will take quite a lot of time to build this habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we can I mean, it's not like you can build that thought process in 3 4 days, but yeah, definitely you should try. And like I said, definitely focus on the previous interview experiences that are available on LeetCode and Geeks for Geeks. And if there are any other websites where you can find that, you can check there also. But I think
Mm-hmm.
these two websites would be good enough for them, because so that if any question comes out like which is already there, so that you are able to do that uh, and don't miss that. For that purpose, I'm asking to look at those interview experiences and solve all those questions that were asked.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be the overall feedback. And yeah, I mean, I think that you would require a bit of more practice, but what I would suggest is to stay calm during the interview. Although you didn't look like you panicked, but during the actual interview, you should not panic due to the question. Just focus on it and try to give any solution in the beginning. For example, in this case, also in the beginning, you gave a n square solution, right? That was definitely good. And yeah, even if you are not getting the n square solution, you can simply go to n cube, so that there is at least something. Although that will not guarantee. that to clear the interview, but
Mm-hmm.
there would be at least something for the interview. So that would be overall tips from my side. Any other feedback or any other thing, specific thing you want to ask?
So, Gaurav, if I have any question in the next 3 4 days, I have interview on Tuesday. So, how can I contact you? I mean, can I at least contact you again for that?
Uh, we can contact you WhatsApp also.
Okay.
So maybe I can share my number over here. So I've shared my WhatsApp number over here. So maybe you can simply ping here.
Yeah, I have pinged you. Okay. Yeah, I received a message. So, great. If I have anything, I'll try to contact you. I tried accessing the Slack for Preplaced, but for some reason I don't have access. It's not letting me log in. But I think WhatsApp should be good enough.
Yeah. And do you have any feedback for me? I mean, how I can, if there is anything where I can improve during this.
No, I think it was good. I was actually very nervous for this mock interview,
Mhm.
but I find it very interesting that you actually talked before getting into the mock interview. That helped me resolve my question and calm down a little before we actually start looking into the problem.
Yeah,
It was a
actually,
good experience.
I personally feel that there should be some 15 minutes of session before this interview, just to knowing that what the candidate is actually expecting,
Correct.
right? Because it might happen that I might have come with some DSLGO problem, and you might have thought of some design problem that you
Mm-hmm.
need design interview preparation, or
Correct.
maybe some general behavior interview preparation. So that's why I thought that पहले थोड़ा सा मतलब क्लियर कर सकते हैं कि एग्जैक्ट एक्सपेक्टेशन है क्या, फिर स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं.
Definitely, that is helpful actually.
हम्म. तो आपका जो पैकेज है इसमें कितने इंटरव्यूज हैं टोटल?
नहीं ये एक ही इंटरव्यू है
अच्छा.
and I have an interview on Tuesday, so it doesn't make sense for me to have two mock interviews between that. I mean, it would not give me a lot of time to work on the feedback.
हम्म. या राइट. मेक सेंस. कूल.
Okay,
सो या आई मीन बेस्ट ऑफ लक फॉर योर इंटरव्यू.
thank you, Gaurav. So
Yeah, if you
much.
have any doubt or anything, you can ask.
Okay,
And just one thing, I mean, if possible, please share like how the interview went and all.
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, I had not applied. I just received a LinkedIn message, and I thought I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So it's just an experience that I wanted to take, and also एक clear हो जाता है ना, DS algo clear हो गया तो at least Google level का prepare कर लिया, then एक experience अच्छा हो मतलब
बिल्कुल.
something that can add to my experience, interviewing experiences as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So I would just suggest that even
Mhm.
after this interview, no matter whatever is the result, you can try doing questions from the lead code
Yeah, yeah,
quite
yeah.
regularly.
Yeah, I understood that when I started solving it. If done on regular basis, I think it would really help.
Hmm.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. It was great talking to you. I'll pick your brains again in a few days.
yeah, yeah. No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.